Benvenuti a tutti and welcome to my cooking channel. Today I'm going to take the bolognese we used the other day and turn it into Italian lasagna. All we need is one more sauce. It's bechamel. Bechamel is one of the 5 French mother sauces. It's used all the time in Italian cuisine, especially in the north. So today we'll take the bechamel and the bolognese and we'll put them together to make Italian lasagna. Italian lasagna is different than American lasagna. It doesn't have cottage cheese in it, it doesn't have ricotta cheese in it, it doesn't have mozzarella in it. It just has bolognese, bechamel, lasagna noodles, and some Parmesan cheese. The ingredients for bechamel are really simple. We just need equal amounts of fat and flour, and we're going to use butter for this. And then milk, salt, and nutmeg. And that's it. To make the bechamel, we just turn the heat on, medium, and I'm going to take a half a cup of butter, which is 1 stick, and I'm going to melt that in my pan. Once the butter's all melted, we will add the flour. And then what you need to do is immediately stir it together. It's going to bubble up and just kind of turn into a little bit of a paste. And just let that cook for a minute. It'll cook out the floury taste. Then I'm going to add 3½ cups of cold milk. Then you want to stir that together right away. And you just want to keep whisking until it gets thick. You may think nothing's going to happen, and then suddenly it will just start to get thick. If you don't whisk, then you will get lumps. So once it starts to boil, you'll notice it's thick and it's smooth. It's just a beautiful sauce. You can see that it's coating my whisk. And it's at this point I'm going to go ahead and add some salt. I'm going to add a teaspoon of salt. And I'm going to add 1/4 teaspoon of fresh nutmeg. You could use ground nutmeg, that's fine. And just stir that up. And then go ahead and turn it off. Just go ahead and take a taste so we know if we have enough salt. I'm just going to set this aside until I'm ready for it. In a large pot, boil some water, add some salt, and then I'm going to put my noodles in. I like Barilla pasta, and I'm going to need 12 noodles. And I'm going to cook these noodles until they're not quite al dente. Okay, so my noodles have been bubbling away, and if you look at them, if I pull one out, you can see it's still got a little bit of body to it, but it is a little limp. I'm going to go ahead and drain these, and I'm going to rinse them with some cold water. And now that we have all our pieces, we're just going to put everything together. Rinsing the noodles stops the cooking process and also keeps them from sticking together. So the first thing we're going to do is take the bolognese that we made the other day and put a small layer in the bottom of the pan. This just keeps the noodles and everything from sticking. Then I'm going to take 4 noodles and just line them up across the bottom of the pan. Then I'm going to add 1/3 of my bolognese and just spread it over the noodles, and some bechamel. I'm just going to pour it over. Then another layer of 4 noodles across, another layer of bolognese, another layer of bechamel, the 3rd and last layer of noodles, the rest of the bolognese, and the last bit of bechamel. Well, it's okay if your bolognese and your bechamel get mixed up together, because we're going to cover that with Parmesan. So just put a nice thick layer of Parmesan down. And now it's ready to go in the oven. I'm going to cover this with some foil, and then I'm going to bake it at 375 degrees for 20 minutes, and then I'll take the foil off and bake it for 10 more additional minutes. And I use convection for almost everything that I bake, but lasagna is one of the 5 things I don't use convection for. So just use regular bake. Oh my goodness, look at this. It's the Italian lasagna with bechamel and bolognese, and it's the lasagna that I really love. And hopefully you'll love it too. Let me know in the comments below. You can find this recipe and over 200 other recipes on my blog, cookingwithrachel101.com. Don't forget to like this video and subscribe. Subscribing is free. And if you wanted to be notified every time I post a new video, hit the bell.